Hey guys, it's Tom from Velocity here. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. We are in the showroom today to walk around this awesome K5 Blazer. This one is a heritage series, so it's our upgraded version. And people often talk about cars when they are loaded spec, and this one is most certainly loaded. It's got almost every option that you can spec on one of our cars. And the great news is it's available for sale immediately. So we're going to take a walk around it today, give you all the ins and outs of it, give you all the details as if you were standing here with me. We will start, of course, as always, with the paint color, and that is mint. Obviously, there's a two-tone with a lower white, but the primary color on this K5 is mint. It looks mint, to use a UK phrase. It looks mint both in color and mint as in it looks really cool. It just looks absolutely fantastic, this truck. Mint is a really, really nice color. It's one of those pastel colors that, especially when hit by direct sunlight, contrasted with that white undertone, just looks really, really fantastic. This is definitely more of a beachy vibe truck. It's definitely more of a summer truck. Of course, with a hardtop, it could be driven all year round, but definitely looks best in the sun. It looks absolutely fantastic, this color. Again, especially complemented by that white secondary color. So mint for the primary color. It's not a metallic. It is a gloss. It is a flat paint, and it just looks pristine. So really, really nice. A very popular color for us, both on these K5s and on the Broncos as well. We'll go around the front of the truck now, and of course, you're met with that standard Chevy grille for the era. Really, really nice. Lots of chrome details, as well as the lower chrome bumper as well. For lights on this one, we've gone with the Holley Retro Brights. They are an LED light, but they look like an old halogen lamp. So it just looks very classic, again, with the mint color and the white two-tone. It's a very classically spec truck, and so these were the right LED lights for us to choose. Of course, it's a Chevy, so we have to have the ribbon in the grille as well. That all looks really nice, but other than those couple of little touches with the headlights, really this is pretty stock looking front end on the K5. A lot of you ask in the comments and in the DMs, hey, how big are these K5s, especially with the hardtop on them? So with my boots on, I'm probably around 6 feet or so, and that gives you a kind of scale. These are big trucks, right? If I stand right here by the top of the truck, they are tall, but they will fit in most normal garages. Unless you live in an apartment complex, you've got one of those, smaller garages, these K5s will just about fit in a normal standard home garage. So they do fit, but they are big trucks. They really definitely have a road presence. Let's come down the side of the vehicle then, and I mentioned earlier, this is our Heritage series, so it is an upgraded version of what we normally do. The Heritage package primarily is going to be upgrading aesthetic options on the vehicle, and the first part of that is the included two-tone paint that I've touched on a couple of times. So white is that lower color, and they're broken up by this over-wheel chrome trim. There's a couple of different options that you can do on these K5s, but for this one, we just wanted a little bit of white. We didn't want to do the middle white stripe or half and half. We wanted just the lower third to be white, and so the option for that, of course, is that over wheel trim. So the trim comes over the wheels all the way along the side of the truck, over the rear wheel arch, and then all the way around the back and loops into the tailgate. We'll get on in a second, but looks really, really nice. Because it's a Heritage series as well, it's going to have all of our billet components. So side mirrors, the door handles are billet. They have Velocity Flying V etched in them, of course, and little bits of logos here and there. They look really nice, but they are also super functional as well. They just feel really premium. They feel much more solid compared to the OEM fitting. The actual way we build out the glass internally is different to try and reduce some vibration in there as well for your side mirrors. So all in all, really nice aesthetic and functional upgrade. Another functional upgrade on this truck, of course, is this hardtop. So we don't always fit hardtops on K5s, but what we're seeing more and more now for people buying these K5s is truly they would like to drive them every day as an enclosed cabin vehicle. So these are getting more popular, and for this one, to match the white lower, obviously we painted it in white. It looks absolutely fantastic, and again, it is functional. So it's watertight, it does keep the AC in, it keeps you cool or hot depending on the climate that you're in, and it also does remove a lot of that road noise, wind noise that you would obviously get if you just had an open top. It does still have the safety of the roll cage though, so internally you're going to see later on that the 6-point cage is still fits in there inside the inside the hard top, so you still get all of that benefit too. We'll come on to that in a second. Come around the side of the vehicle then into the back, and you're going to see the rear end of this truck, and it just again looks very simple, very classic, but of course very elegant too. The chrome trim continues around the tailgate. and around your indicator lights and your brake lights. You've got the matching rear chrome bumper as well to match the front of the truck, so that's really nice. One of my favorite details, and again, it's part of that heritage package, is going to be this rear tailgate handle. This is a billet tailgate handle, custom made by us, and if you look closely, you're going to see that the rear view camera has been integrated into the tailgate handle, which is just such a cool thing. It's very subtle, but it's just a really nice placement wired in there. We make it completely ourselves, in-house, designed in-house by our engineers. And it's just something that people tend to notice. If you know these things, you know that that's not a standard OEM tailgate handle. It's just a really cool integration. I love it. We'll pop open the top for you so you can quickly see what it looks like in the back. And you're going to be greeted now by the initial flare of this interior. So it's a tan interior that we've gone for. We're going to touch about that more in a second. You do also have included in this a full safari top. That brings me on to the point, which is the hardtop is removable. When we say removable, it's not like a Jeep hardtop when you can just pop it off in about 15 minutes and place it down. It does take a little bit more involvement than that, but you can remove the hardtops on these K5s. And so if you decided to do that in summer, maybe you want to do it once or twice a year for the seasons, you do get the full safari top and the riser there as well. That's just being placed in the back of the truck, ready for when it goes home. The tailgate backing, because it does have that hard top though, and it's because it's the heritage, has been improved or made more luxury. And so you've got this leather tailgate panel here, which is also complemented by the carpet. So you're going to see that as well in these side panels here. The carpet begins to come up into the side panels, into the tailgate panel, just to create this real continuation of design all the way through the interior. It looks really nice. The carpet's super premium. It's super plush. You also have it here. So underneath on the tailgate, as well as this is a full mat that you can remove. So if you are bringing things in, if you've got sand or things going in the back there, you actually just take that whole mat off, clean it off, and then put it in the back of the truck. Final thing to note, you're going to start to see the roll cage I mentioned earlier has also been finished in white to match the hardtop and the lower white color, which I just think gives it a little bit of a pop. It's subtle, it's nice, it just works really, really well. All right, we're going to move on to the interior now. And of course, as always, I will let you take it in before I talk about it, because this one is really, really special. Lots of different materials going on, lots of upgrades. Let's walk through them. We'll start with the door panel here, and you're going to notice 3 or 4 different materials. Of course, we've got the billet components now coming into the interior. This is the interior door handle. This is all completely custom billet, leather topped. That's our second material in here. So we've got this primary material, which is this nice tan leather. It's more of an orangey tan leather rather than a darker brown. It works really well in contrast to that mint paint color. So that's the second material. The third is going to be the carpet that we already talked about. That's been integrated into the door panel as well. And the final new material just to the interior is going to be these fabric inserts. They look absolutely fantastic. They are really nice. They don't feel kind of as smooth as the carpet. They've got a little bit less texture to them, but they just are really functional and also look really great. So they're not going to tear or anything like that. They're really resistant, scratch resistant, these inserts. It's a thick fabric. Sometimes when you do these inserts, some of the fabrics can be a little thinner, which can make them pull. This is not going to pull. It's really, really nice fabric insert that goes in the door panels as well as in other places in the interior. Because it is a Velocity, this vehicle does feature electric windows, but as it's a Heritage Series K5, instead of the window regulators being on the door panel, they are actually in the center console, which we'll come on to. So you don't have that on the door panel, but what you do have is your speakers, 4-car speaker system, as well as your door release. This is also upgraded in billet too. I'll jump in the truck now, helped by, of course, that side step. So all of our 4-wheel drive vehicles have a powered side step, and just to show you how that functions, it's on a little door pin. When you shut the door, the side step comes up when you're driving, and then when you open the door when you're stopped, it pops back down. So just makes getting in these trucks, especially these K5s, as they are quite tall, really, really simple, really easy. Right, now I'm sitting in the truck. I can tell you that seating position is great, thanks to these Recaro seats. We'll come on to those in a second. But as always, I'm greeted with the Heritage Upgrade Spark Industries billet steering wheel. This steering wheel is one of my favorite things. They look absolutely amazing. They feel amazing to hold. The actual detail in the leather contrasted with that billet is really nice. And so again, you're starting to get some of this design ideology coming all the way through the truck. The billet on the outside with the leather, then the billet on the inside. It's just a really nice addition. Stitch detail is just perfect on these, and they feel really great to hold and drive. They're also one of those kind of wow factor things. If you're showing the vehicle to anybody, one of the first things they mention is, wow, look at that steering wheel. So really, really nice. Tilt steering column behind that, so you do have that adjustability. And also, because it's a heritage, it's been painted in that mint color as well. Normally these come as standard black. Most people would just leave them black, but we don't do that. We're not most people. We actually take the whole thing apart, spray it to match the mint color, and then put it back together. So that's really nice. You're now going to be introduced behind that to the instrument cluster and the final material that we use on the interior here, which is this wooden inlay. And because, again, this truck is a more beachy, summery vibe, we went with a much lighter wooden grain for this inlay. It looks absolutely amazing. It feels amazing. It just really gives the interior of the truck just that final little bit of flair, which is really nice. Behind that inlay is then the dash panel, is the instrument cluster, and it's a Dakota digital system. So what that means is it looks really classic, but actually it has modern features. There are actually two screens here on either side. They're little screens. They're not more than like a couple inches wide. So they're very subtle, but what they do is provide you with extra information that you wouldn't normally have in this instrument cluster. So remaining fuel levels and temps and pressures and things like that. You can actually cycle through them. There's a button down here that gives you some control over those, but they're really nice little features just to give you some extra information. The other thing to note is all the switch gear internally has been upgraded to billet. So light controls there are billet. My whitewash here controls a billet. My high and low range is billet. Again, that's all part of that heritage series. All right, for the rest of the interior, the first thing we're going to focus on is these Recaro seats. I mentioned as I got in the vehicle that they're incredibly comfortable. Here is why. The Recaros versus the standard low back seats that you would have in the Signature Series vehicles are a full back seat. So you do have a headrest. They come all the way up to shoulder level, but also they have some extra back support, lumbar support, as well as these side bolsters. So sitting in these seats, you really feel like you're connected to the car and that you're nice and secure. They feel amazing, big part thanks to that leather, but also these inserts that match the door panel inserts I was talking about before. So really, really nice inserts. When we do them in the seats though, we actually make them out of a bamboo weave. So it's a matching material with the door panel inserts, but because they're bamboo, it just makes them super breathable, especially when it's warmer. You do want to kind of avoid that back sweat thing that can sometimes happen with older vehicles. And so this bamboo weave is just really, really breathable, just helps with the airflow behind you as you're sitting down. You do have some extra adjustment on the Recaros here too, as well as, of course, the seat can slide back and forward. You can adjust the backrest, etc., etc. But they're just great. They look fantastic, especially with these inserts. Just again, a really classic design. Look really awesome, but very functional. Let's come on to this center console area now, and you won't have seen anything like this anywhere else other than on our Heritage Series K5s. It's completely designed for us, unique to us, done in-house by the guys here, the engineers, Matt and his team in the trim shop, just absolutely designed this thing head to toe. The rest of the center console then is wrapped in this leather, apart from, again, this accent material, which is in the door panels I mentioned earlier. That looks really nice. It's super soft. There's a slight cushion to this as well. So it makes a really good armrest for when you're driving. It's magnetized, which is really nice, and it's super heavy duty. Really, really, really cool stuff. Just feels nice to use. If I open it up here, you're going to see that the inserts have been finished in this Alcantara black, so all of this touch area is nice and soft. We've got some extra bits in here that you get as standard with our truck, so you always get a battery charger, some touch-up paint if you need it, that sort of thing. Inside there too, I should mention, is a couple of extra controls. You do have also another set of USB-C and USB 3.0 charging, as well as the Focal speaker system, which we'll come on to, has a sub-control in the cubby box as well. Two drinks holders, and again, you're going to notice what we've done here is use the wooden inlays from that instrument cluster, that final piece of material, just to give this area a little bit of accent color. And I mentioned earlier that all vehicles that we build come with electric windows. This K5 is no exception. You control the electric windows with these two controls here. So driver's side, passenger side, really simple, much like a modern vehicle. Still got four-wheel drive in this truck, so your high and low range, and we've brought the gear gator here. That material is also that leather. And then right at the front, we've got a charging pad. And again, it's just an attention to detail thing with Velocity builds. Most people, when they go and fit a charging pad in a vehicle like this, or a resto mod, they will just buy something off the shelf that has a lightning symbol in it. And if you're a builder or you're in this industry, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. And they drop it in, they say, hey, we've got wireless charging, which is cool, right? There's nothing wrong with doing that. But if you want to go the extra mile, which is what we're all about, velocity, what you really need to do is reupholster that whole thing. And so that's what we've done. So we've taken this material here, which is in the door panels and on top of the center console, and we've dropped it in the charging pad. And instead of having the wireless charging logo that's universal, we've actually put in the Velocity Flying V. It's just a little detail, but when you sit in the vehicle and you start to notice all these things, especially for the money that you're going to pay for a truck like this, it really makes a world of difference. Coming above that, you've got your infotainment kind of panel here, as well as your AC. We'll start with the infotainment. It's a double-din touchscreen Alpine system. It has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so really, really nice features. Your reversing camera is also going to appear in that screen, so very much like a normal truck or a normal car. All of that stuff is operational to what you're used to in a modern vehicle. Above that is a Vintage Air AC system. This is a bit of a simpler control system from Vintage Air, but it is a super powerful, brand new AC system. You've got fan speed, you've got temperature, you've got direction. Those are all the things that you need, really. What I can tell you, again, it's warm here in Florida. It isn't right now, but obviously as soon as we get into spring, it'll really get hot, is this Vintage Air AC system in combination with a hardtop on these trucks really does make them daily drivable. It definitely helps the vehicle acclimatize when you want to cool down, really does keep the cabin cold. A big thanks to the Vintage Air AC system there. It's really, really nice. Dash pad on top of that, of course, is that matching leather. And then as we come up, because it's a K5, you do actually have some extra sun visors as well. They're matching leather. And then keep looking up, you're going to see the the white roll cage and then the white hard top. And the hard top has actually got a full headliner in it, again, matched in that leather. So basically, long story short, everything really for this interior has been super thought through. And I think when you take a step back and actually look at this interior, at this truck, it's easy to see that really it all weaves together very well. One final thing that I forgot to mention, the Focal speaker system that we have in these trucks. There is a extra sub, and then you've got speakers here in the kick panels and in the doors and in the back side panels as well. Awesome sound systems by the guys at Focal. They're designed specifically for our vehicles, tuned for these trucks. And so the sound systems just blow you away. Every time I am always impressed by the fidelity, the volume, the clarity of the audio in these trucks in comparison to what you would normally get in something like this. They're just a step above. So thanks to the guys at Focal for the speaker system. That's all there. All right, let's take a look at the drivetrain and talk about the actual driving characteristics of this vehicle. So because it's a Chevrolet product from Velocity, it has a brand new LT1. That's a 6.2 litre V8 producing around 460 horsepower with a ton of torque at the bottom of the rev range. So for a weightier truck like this, it really does make a difference off the line. It makes driving really enjoyable. Lots and lots of power, of course. So this vehicle can go very fast. It's got an amazing exhaust note, but also it's about the reliability and the serviceability of the engine. It's why we use these engines rather than a more classic engine, just because they're going to work every time. So when you pay the money that you're going to pay for something like this, you just want consistency, you want reliability, and the LT1 gives you that. Any GM dealer, any Chevrolet dealer, really anybody that is a modern mechanic can work on these engines. There's OBD port on there. You just plug in, you can service it like a normal new truck. So it's not just about the power. Again, it's about the reliability and serviceability of that LT1. Behind that is going to be a 10L80. So that's the 10-speed automatic transmission. And people often ask, hey, is the engine, even though, Tom, I know you're using an LT1 and 10L, is it pulled from something else? So has it been in another truck and then are you putting it in your vehicle, or is it actually a truly brand new engine? The answer, of course, is all brand new componentry. So both of those things, they're crate engines and crate transmissions from the guys at GM. So all brand new, no miles done on them. In fact, we put about 500 test miles on all of these things, partly to bed in the engine as well. So that's the engine and the gearbox. For brakes, you have Wilwood brakes all the way around this truck. So disc brakes, forward disc brakes all the way around. They're a hydro boosted system. It's really important to us that you have the stopping power as well as the going power. We want these vehicles to be safe. And so if you do have to stop quickly in fast moving traffic, of course, this vehicle comfortably will sit on the highway at 70, 80, 90, whatever you want to do comfortably at those speeds. So you want to be able to stop too. Somebody quickly stops in front of you and the disc brakes allow that to happen. Those in combination, of course, with the chassis and the suspension setup, which we'll talk about now. So this vehicle, like all Velocity vehicles, features a brand new chassis from our partners at Roadster Shop. It's a full 4-link coilover chassis. So what that means is this truck handles much, much more like a modern vehicle. It feels very, very nice to drive. You feel super secure when you're at speed. It removes a lot of that floatiness that you would normally get in a vehicle of this era. But also, when you do have to get on the brakes, it's going to stop in a straight line. It's very comfortable to drive, very comfortable to use every day. It just makes it feel really, really nice. Also, with the extended wheelbase, actually it soaks up a lot of the lumps and bumps. You obviously don't want things too soft, otherwise you get back into that floaty nature, but it definitely, the extended wheelbase of the K5 and the 4-link coilover chassis just make these things a ton of fun and really comfortable to drive. I think that about covers everything. As always, there's a couple of little things I'd like to touch on in the engine bay. Here in the wheel arches, as well as actually everywhere on the underside of this vehicle and the top side, so under the carpet, has been Raptor lined, and we tint the Raptor liner in that mint color just to bring everything together. The firewall is painted in the mint gloss, as is the underside of the hood, just little details there. Final thing, of course, is these hood hinges. They're billet, they're really, really nice. They just bring everything together. I believe these are by the guys at Ring Brothers, and they're a really, really nice option. Just super premium. They feel nice as you're lifting the hood. All right. That about covers the engine bay and the driveline. Guys, this is like the most loaded beach style K5 we've ever done. It's definitely up there with one of the highest spec K5s we have ever built. The combination, of course, of the heritage package with the hardtop, the Recaro seats, all those different materials inside the vehicle, they just mean this truck comes together in a way almost unlike any other. It really is a super unique truck. It's the only one that we've ever done in this specific colorway and combination. Just standing here in front of it, it looks absolutely fantastic. This vehicle is available for immediate sale, so it is part of the showroom. Pretty much everything you see behind here on the camera is typically available for sale. Most people, when they buy from Velocity, they're actually going to buy something from the showroom already in production, and this is one of those vehicles that's available to do that. Pricing, of course, and all the information is on the website. If you're watching on YouTube, you can read in the link below. If you're on Instagram, if you're on YouTube, you can send us a DM or leave a comment if you've got any questions. And if you are looking on the website and you do actually want to speak to somebody on the sales team, either complete a submission form, a contact form, or you can just give us a call. The number will be somewhere on the screen there for you to just pick up the phone and somebody will talk you through everything you need to know about this vehicle. Two final things I want to point out. This vehicle does come with a 2-year bumper-to-bumper warranty, and that's included from us as standard. So you've got a full warranty on this vehicle, not just the driveline, but every single piece, paint, electronics, any even small rattles or things like that. We cover everything as part of that warranty. The second thing that this vehicle qualifies for is our financing. So if you did want to buy this vehicle, but you wanted to maybe finance it instead of make a cash purchase, our partners at Woodside Credit can help you with that. We have an application link. If you're looking at this vehicle on the website, lower down in the description, there's an application link for Woodside. You can go and see what the monthlies will be there and stuff like that. This thing is awesome. I'm really glad that you got to walk around it with me. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.